Power armor glints under blood-red light, sigils. A chapter master roars, "We are the blade in the dark, and the dark is our brother." This is a legion forged on Caliban, born from Lion L. Jonson's will. But beneath the armor lies a secret, the inner circle buried, a chapter that never should have been. We are the chapter, the inner blade in the circle dark, buried in the rock stasis vaults. This is an obsession with legion purity forged conceals on a Caliban deeper horror. The inner circle's secret war destroyed a legion, a chapter erased from history, its existence a stain on the rock's facade. Their history is a labyrinth of lies. The rock stasis vaults hide a buried truth. What if the Dark Angel's greatest secret is a chapter that never should have been? Caliban's storms scream through jagged peaks, their howls laced with the metallic tang of rusted iron. The air reeks of ozone and decay, a scent that clings to the skin like a curse. Below, the people huddle in caves, their faces gaunt, eyes hollowed by centuries of survival. Their silence is not born of fear, but of knowing the ground beneath them remembers every war, every betrayal. The rock rises in the distance, a monolith of stone and shadow, its surface etched with scars no blade could carve. Here, the inner circle's whispers echo louder than thunder. They buried the truth in stasis, but the vaults groan with the weight of what was lost. Lion L. Jonson sleeps in glass, his golden eyes sealed behind layers of steel, yet his presence seeps into the rock's bones. The chapter's stoicism is a mask, a ritual to forget the legion that once burned across the stars. Yet in the hush between heartbeats, doubt clings to the rock's iron ribs. What if the rock's silence is the only thing holding the galaxy together? The forge on Caliban burned with a light that did not fade, its embers whispering secrets to the stone. Lion L. Jonson stood amidst the heat, his shadow stretching over the first warriors of the Legion, their armor still warm from the crucible. The air reeked of iron and ash, a scent that clung to the rock for centuries. Yet even then, the inner circle watched from the shadows, their hands already stained with the ink of lies. The rock was not built to hold the faithful. Its walls, cold and unyielding, cradled the bones of a chapter that never drew its blades in the Emperor's name. The inner circle's war was not fought with swords, but with silence, a slow erosion of truth, a burial of brotherhood beneath layers of doctrine and guilt. Lion's voice still echoes in the chamber where the Legion swore their oaths, a sound that fractures the air like glass. He did not know then that his legacy would be a monument to doubt, his shadow a shackle on a chapter that forgot how to forgive. The rock's silence is not a void, it is a vault, its stones heavy with the weight of a failure too great to name. What if the greatest betrayal was not the fall, but the choice to let the rock become a tomb? The rock breathes in silence. Its corridors reek of oil and rust, the air thick with the scent of burnt metal from the forges that once shaped saints. The Codex Astartes lies open in the hands of a brother, its pages whispering in a dialect no living tongue can match. He reads it aloud, voice trembling, a ritual older than the chapter itself. The inner circle watches, their shadows stretching like claws across the walls. They do not speak, they do not need to. The history they rewrite is not ink on parchment, but a blade in the gut of a chapter that once bled for the Emperor. In the heart of the rock, a vault waits. Its doors are sealed with chains forged from the armor of the fallen. Inside, a chapter that never was lies entombed, its ghosts murmuring in the dark, their voices drowned by the clang of hammers and the roar of engines. The inner circle's edits are not mere censorship. They are a shroud stitched from lies, each thread a name erased, a battle reimagined. The Dark Angels fight with unyielding precision, but their swords cut through memories as easily as flesh. A brother stands at the edge of the vault, his hand on the cold iron. He sees not a tomb but a mirror, his reflection is not his own, the chapter that failed is not buried. It is here in every scar, every unspoken name. The inner circle's war is not against the enemy. It is against the truth, and the truth is this: the rock is not a prison, it is a confession. What lies beneath the stone, not a prison, not a vault. A crypt for a chapter the inner circle buried erased to prevent the truth from rising again. What if the rock's silence is the last breath of a legion that never should have fallen? The rock's breath is stagnant, A damp, iron-rich stench clings to its walls, thick as the blood of 1,000 traitors. Stone groans under the weight of 1,000 centuries, each groan a funeral bell for a name the inner circle carved from history. The air tastes of rust and regret. Here the light is not light, but the absence of Eda void where the chapter's soul should have burned. The scouring was not a purge, it was a funeral. The splinter chapter, the asterisk lion's oath asterisk, had not fallen to chaos. They had asterisk sought asterisk it, drawn by a heresy older than the emperor's own shadow. Their banners, once gold and crimson, now hang in the rock's deepest vaults, their fabric rotted by the weight of secrets. A brother of the oath, his armor still etched with the sigil of the lion, was found clutching a relic, a shard of a forgotten god. His final words etched into the stone floor by his own blade, asterisk, we were never meant to survive, asterisk, the inner circle did not kill them. They asterisk unmade asterisk them. Codex pages were burned, their ashes mixed with the blood of the oath's last defenders. The rock's history was rewritten in ash and lies, each edit a grave for a truth that could not be buried. Yet the oath's ghosts linger, their whispers seep through the rock's cracks, a chorus of voices that the inner circle cannot silence. A brother of the inner circle once stood here, his hands stained with the ink of 1,000 lies. He carved his own name into the rock, only to have it erased by the very hands he betrayed. The rock does not forget, it does not forgive, and in its silence the oath's shadow grows. What if the dark angel's greatest secret is not the rock but the legion that never died? Rogel Dorn's forge burned with the scent of molten steel, his voice a hammer's strike against the void. His doctrines carved the chapter's spine cold, unyielding, a blade honed by the emperor's own hand. Malcador's shadow fell heavier, his whispers threading through the gray night's rites like smoke through a shattered window. The air grew colder each time he spoke, as if the Imperium itself held its breath. The inner circle's rise was a slow unraveling, incense thick as blood in the sanctum, the rustle of robes hiding hands that carved history into stone. They buried the chapter's true name beneath layers of ash and silence, each erasure a funeral for a brother who never lived. The rock's walls hum with the weight of forgotten oaths, its stone still warm from the last breath of a legion that was never meant to be. The inner circle's war was not fought with swords but with ink and fire, their victory etched in the absence of names. A single candle flickers in the dark, its flame trembling as if remembering a face it was never meant to see. What if the greatest betrayal was not the loss of brothers, but the erasure of their very existence? The silence here is not empty, it is a grave, and every step echoes with the dirge of a chapter that died before it was born. The rock breathes in rusted sighs, its stone veins clogged with the ash of 1,000 failed oaths. A cold that gnaws deeper than the void clings to the air, thick with the scent of iron and something older, something that smells of blood that never dried. The inner circle's hands, once steady in their purge, tremble as they carve new lies into the rock's surface, chisel by chisel, as if erasing a name might erase a soul. Shadows know not movement but the asterisk absence asterisk of it. A chapter that was never meant to be, its ghosts trapped between the cracks of the rock's foundation. They built their cathedral here not to honor the lion but to bury the truth, that the chapter they erased was not a traitor but a mirror. A mirror that showed the inner circle's own rot, their own thirst for purity that birthed a monster they could not name. The wind howls through the crevices, carrying whispers that taste of salt and regret. One of the inner circle pauses, their gauntlet tightening around a relic, a broken blade, its edge still sharp enough to cut the lie from their tongue. Asterisk, what if the purest sin is the lie we tell ourselves to survive? Asterisk, the blade trembles in their grip, as if the rock itself refuses to be forgotten. The dirge grows louder, not of the dead but of the living who carry their ghosts. The chapter was never erased. It was asterisk buried, asterisk alive, screaming and waiting. The dark angels endure, their codex stands unbroken, a relic of order in chaos. Primaris reinforcements mask fractures beneath their armor. The inner circle still guards the rock, though its silence grows heavier with each sacrifice. The astronomicon demands moral weighs more. The rock is not a prison, it is a grave, a tomb for a chapter the inner circle tried to erase. Not through fire but through silence, their history, buried and rewritten, still bleeds into the present. What if the Dark Angel's greatest secret is a chapter that never existed? A legion the Inner Circle deemed too corrupted to save, too dangerous to let live. They buried it alive, screaming, waiting. Its ghosts whisper in every ritual, every unspoken rule. The Emperor's interment on the Golden Throne requires daily psyker sacrifices. The cost is not measured in blood, but in memory. The chapter was never erased. It was asterisk buried asterisk. Its shadow stretches through every Primaris recruit, every unspoken truth. The rock holds more than secrets. It holds a failure the Inner Circle cannot name, a war fought in silence, a chapter erased by omission. And still the screams echo. The rock does not hold prisoners. It holds a burial ground for a chapter the Inner Circle tried to erase. Their codex whispers the truth, asterisk we are the blade in the dark, and the dark is our brother. Asterisk yet the dark did not make them. The Imperium did, a war fought in silence, a chapter unmade by omission. The Inner Circle's purge was not of heretics, it was of memory. They buried a legion that failed to burn the wrong enemy. A chapter that saw the Emperor's shadow and turned away. The galaxy forgets, the Imperium forgets, but the rock remembers. It holds weight of a failure too vast to name, a legion that became a wound. A chapter that never lived, yet haunts every secret the Dark Angels keep. The blade in the dark does not cut outward. It cuts inward. The dark is not their brother, it is their maker. And in silence between stars, the screams of the erased still bleed. What else did the Inner Circle bury? The rock is no prison, only a tomb. The Grey Knight's war against heresy may have demanded more than weapons. What if the Dark Angel's greatest betrayal was a chapter they never let live?